Welcome back everyone. As you probably guessed from the title of the video as well as the thumbnail, we are going to be going over how to clean and lubricate your Beretta PMX or PMXs. Of course, that is going to include disassembly and reassembly as well. And it's a pretty simple process, but these guns have been very popular since they came into the US, and I think there's a lot of new folks that are buying them. So we're going to walk you through it as if this is your first gun, first time you're taking it apart, and the first time you're ever cleaning and lubricating it. So with that, let's get to it. So before we get started, I just want to go over what we're actually using. This bottle is actually a repurposed bottle, but it is break-free CLP. Break-free CLP also in this repurposed bottle. You'll sense a theme here throughout this. T-shirt that is cut up. These are just smaller pieces of T-shirt. A punch, and we'll show you why that's needed on this little guy here in just a second. A toothbrush, fancy. And then a tipped-in polymer pick set. You can get them individually or in a set. I just get the set because eventually they do break. And the reason for this is so it doesn't scratch up surfaces, unlike dental picks, which are often rather hardened. Hammer to go with that punch, and then also this little cord here from Otis. You can use it for a lot of different calibers, and we're going to use it for 9mm today. Barrel's a little bit long to use a traditional pistol punch. Some of them will work, just not all. So before we start out, we're going to drop our magazine here and do so, and then we're going to make sure that we are clear. As you guys can see, we are. At this point, we are going to drive this pin right here, which is kind of our takedown pin, out. And if your gun is older and might be a little bit looser, but this thing is tight. It's plenty used, but it is tight. That pin is not going anywhere without a punch. All right, now our pin is all the way out to that side. And at this point, honestly, all you're gonna do is pull forward and up on the upper half of your receiver. We'll see if we can do it on camera for you guys. But that's really all I'm doing. There you go. And at this point, your upper and lower will separate. Looking in there, you can see your fire control group. Pretty simple overall, not a whole lot going on. We will get to that here in just a second. Next, we're gonna take the rear here and screw this piece off. Takes a little bit, but just keep unscrewing. All right, now it's off. Take that piece and set it aside. We have this piece here, which is like your sling clips, kind of HK style. Then take our recoil spring and assembly, which obviously is a dual spring and assembly. Take our bolt back, and you're gonna get your bolt to this notch right here. At this point, the pin will come right out. And that's the same thing you do if you want to swap it out to the other side, just for guys who are interested in that. And then we have our bolt, which is a gigantic bolt, obviously a straight blowback type of design, very heavy. And then you look inside, and that is what the inside looks like. So basically at this point, we are going to get started. We're going to get started with the barrel, and we're going to run a patch through the barrel, spray it with some CLP first off. And what CLP does for the new folks out there, there's always new people watching these videos. CLP is a break-free cleaning lubricant and protectant, or cleaning lubricant and preservative, depending on the brand. But it does everything that the name indicates. Is it the best lubricant? No. Is it the best cleaner? No. It does everything pretty well. It's been used by the United States military for decades. It works. There are other products that are good as well, but that's what we're using here. If you're using patches, you'll probably get a pretty good seal every time. Sometimes with the T-shirt, you got to kind of play with it to get a good seal on those lands and grooves there in the barrel. There we go. Good contact that time. And what we're going to do is just kind of let that sit. And we're going to work on all the other parts. We're going to attack our receiver first. Just going to spray a little bit of CLP in there. Again, it's a big open blowback receiver. And what we're going to do now is just work with our toothbrush and kind of get all the surfaces that we can reach, especially down in there in the chamber. If you guys can see that, the chamber is going to have a bunch of crud in there. And just kind of work around. One of the benefits of this huge open design is that it's very easy to clean. There's really, honestly, not much to it. We're going to do the same here on our bolt and bolt face. There we go. We're just going to work that CLP around. One thing the CLP is doing while this is happening is it is breaking down carbon. I'm not going to take the firing pin out of this for the purposes of this video. You can do it. It's honestly not all that hard. As you can see by my hand, the thing is dirty. It's a dirty girl. And you want to pay special attention there to our face right there, as well as get up under the actual extractor, which we will show here in just a second. And then the other parts that we want to get to is going to be our lower and our trigger group. We're just going to do the same kind of thing. Spray in there, work around and get everything we can that has carbon on there. Basically, from here forward is probably going to be about carbon free. But back here in the action, this is all exposed when firing. And I would recommend putting it on fire, letting the the hammer go home and get in there as much as you can. Anything you can't reach with the tools that we're going to have in this video, generally speaking, you're just going to kind of let it be. So at this point, what we're going to do is take this giant piece right here, and we're just going to kind of wipe up all that CLP that we can find. You can use the individual patches for this if you want as well. And as you can see, we're getting plenty out of there. And then we're going to take our polymer pick, if I can find it. There it is. And we're just going to work this through all the different areas that are a little bit smaller than your finger, so that way you can get to them. Once again, like I said, we're going to pay special attention there to the face and get up under that extractor. You want to get that extractor nice and clean, so that way it gets a good purchase on the actual rounds as they go in and out of the chamber, letting it extract properly, which is exactly what you want, as you would imagine. We're going to get down there in that firing pin channel. Now we're going to do the exact same thing there to our receiver. And meanwhile, that CLP that's in the barrel is still working, getting all that carbon out of there. And one thing I say in all my cleaning lubrication videos is that some people want to get everything white glove clean. That's cool. If that is you, I will just tell you, for the purposes of this video, it doesn't make any sense. So we're going to get it just kind of what I would call, I guess, normal clean. Because the reality is, you go out and fire your 10 rounds, it's going to be dirtier than what it would be after this cleaning here. So as you can see, plenty of carbon coming out of there. And now we're going to do the same thing there in our trigger group. All the big areas we can get to first, and then we're going to use that tipped-in pick to get down there in the nooks and crevices. Again, anytime you feel spring tension or anything like that in your trigger group, don't push on it, don't pull on it, just kind of go back, if you will. There's no need to get in there for a normal cleaning to start pulling on springs. Only bad things can happen in that case. So we are not going to do that. All right, now at this point, we're going to head back to that barrel, see if we can continue getting some of that carbon out. Take a little bigger patch than last time. And all the stuff that we're using for cleaning here in this video, there should be a link down below if you guys want to pick it up. There we go, got a good seal that time. There you go, lots of carbon coming out. And looking through the barrel, it actually looks relatively clean. Interesting. Run it through one more time with a little bit of a different contact point on there. You guys can probably see, I don't know if you can see on camera, but those feed ramps are very clean as well. We got those with the pick. Yeah, I mean, honestly, for the purpose of this video, guys, I'm going to say that is good. I'm just going to double down on those feed ramps. There's still a little bit in there. So that's the area that you want to make sure is clean. And at this point, we're just going to wipe down the guide rod and springs. There shouldn't be much on there, and there's not. There's nothing coming off there, which is exactly what I would expect. There you go. At this point, our pistol is clean. Getting into the lubrication, we're going to work on our bolt first. Obviously, it is a gigantic single piece bolt. There's not a lot to lubricate here. If you see any wear areas, like you can start to see there, we're seeing some. Additionally, we have some back here at the rear. Those are areas that you want to pay special attention to. However, there's really not a ton on here. We're just essentially going to put a light layer of CLP across the whole thing. And obviously the design of this receiver, when you go to fire it, the first time you might get a little oil coming out the actual ejection port, which is to be expected just due to the way the thing is designed. And you can definitely see wear down here. That's actually where we see the most wear on this particular one. So just going to put some CLP in those parts. And there you go, that is good. Now we're gonna also put some on our guide rod and springs. The reassembly, again, simple process. Gonna let that guy go forward, and it actually catches on the rails. I don't know if you guys can see that. There are that rail portion there on the bottom that will catch under here, so that way you can't turn. You got to make sure it's lined up just so. That will conveniently also line up your little hole there for your charging handle to go back in. Might have to wiggle it around back and forth for it to go in. There you go. Back in. Recoil spring and guide rod. You got to get those suckers lined up in the back. I'm not sure if I can capture that on camera. That is what we are doing. Yeah, honestly, you might want to do that beforehand. Now that I'm doing it this way, I would say you definitely want to do that beforehand. Let me move this rear. There you go. That's going to make it easier. There we go. Send that guy home. And you want to have that portion there, that little cutout on the bottom. Now we're going to put our our sling swivels, if we can put it on there, mount. And then this guy, we're just going to screw it back in. Now you do want to tighten this thing up, because if you don't tighten your rear piece here up, it will be even harder to get that pin to go forward when you actually go to reassemble it. There we go. And now we're going to take our lower and upper. And so what you want to do is you want to get this lug down there in that piece right there, if that makes sense. So we're going to do that. Just get it set down, our pin all the way out. And then kind of make sure that this little hook right here at the rear goes down and back, like so. And then push it back. I'm going to use the vertical surface there. I'm just push down on it, and it should look like that. And now we're going to try to send that pin home. A little bit easier that time. And at this point, we're just going to do a quick function check. Rack it, make sure everything feels good. It does. Attempt to fire. It fires. Put safety on. Attempt to fire. It does not fire. Your gun is ready to go, cleaned and lubricated. With the gun back assembled, that is the meat and potatoes of the video. However, if you like this type of video and you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel and you are subscribed, you've hit the notification bell, then you are being censored by an algorithm from my content. So in order to avoid that, sign up for my email list at the website here on your screen. This email goes out once a month, and it has all the videos since the previous month's email went out. So that way there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes from my content. Additionally, we have a daily deals email. If ammo, the gun itself, the optics, brace, whatever the case may be, if any of those things go on sale, it will be in the daily deals email. That email contains 8 of the best deals that we know about every day on guns, ammo, optics, etc. If it is in that email, whatever the item is, on that particular day, it's the cheapest I know of anywhere on the internet, because I've already done the price comparisons for you. So that way, if you guys sign up, it'll save you guys some money as well as some time. So a lot of folks really like it. There's also a good Pro 2A related meme in there that a lot of folks like. Some folks sign up for the meme. I will allow it. And with that, guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.